Everything begins within. Before the mansion is built, before the wealth is accumulated, before the success is broadcasted to the world, it is first imagined. Imagination is not a passive daydream. It is a creative act. It is the divine faculty through which we mold our world. To feel like a millionaire before the millions arrive, you must train yourself to imagine differently, deliberately, and persistently. You are not waiting for life to hand you riches. You are commanding reality to express your inner convictions. What you consistently imagine yourself to be, you become. Not because imagination is wishful thinking, but because it is the cause of all outward expression. The world you see is not separate from your consciousness. It is shaped by it, colored by it, and projected by it. When you consistently hold the image of yourself as wealthy, successful, and free, you are not pretending, you are creating. You are rewriting the unseen blueprint that governs the events of your life. This is not arrogance, it is alignment. You are aligning yourself with a deeper truth, a higher identity, one that already exists within you. The problem is not that people imagine too much, but that they imagine the wrong things. They see debt, so they feel poor. They see struggle, so they assume lack. But the senses only confirm the past. Imagination reveals the future. To truly be wealthy, you must ignore the evidence of the senses and become loyal to your inner vision. This is not denial, it is mastery. It is the secret the world overlooks. Let your imagination become your sanctuary. Visit it often. Sit in silence and ask yourself, what would my life look like if I were already a millionaire? Do not answer with logic. Feel it. Experience it in full color. Walk through your dream home. Sit in the comfort of your favorite chair. See your bank balance reflecting abundance. Hear the words of admiration spoken about you. Feel the security, the power, the joy of having more than enough. This practice is not to get rich in the traditional sense. It is to become inwardly rich now. It is to enter the state where money is not something you chase. It is something that flows to you as a natural response to your consciousness. The outer world will catch up, but only if you do not waver. Return daily to your inner sanctuary. Build the habit of seeing yourself as wealthy. Do not do it to impress the world. Do it to awaken the truth within you. Wealth is not something you achieve. It is something you express. And expression begins in imagination. The world will follow your lead when you lead from within. Imagination is not the escape from reality, it is the foundation of it. Dare to imagine boldly, and reality must conform. This is the true power hidden in plain sight. Your imagination is the gateway to reality. The key to transformation is not effort, but identification. You must stop reaching for your desires as if they are somewhere far away. Instead, bring them into the present by assuming they are already yours. Do not wait for the millions to feel abundant. Feel abundant now, and the millions will have no choice but to show up. Living in the end means occupying the state of your fulfilled desire, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, before there is any evidence in the physical world. It means thinking from your goal, not about your goal. You do not try to become wealthy, you become it in consciousness. You no longer ask, when will it happen? You begin to live as if it has already happened. This is not pretending, it is creating. You are not faking anything. You are faithfully inhabiting a reality that already exists on a higher level. Your job is not to force it into existence, but to assume the position of one who already possesses it. Ask yourself daily, if I were already a millionaire, how would I think, speak, move, and feel? What decisions would I make? What would I no longer worry about? What would I expect? Living in the end requires that you allow these answers to shape your behavior right now, not someday in the future. Your inner world must reflect the truth of your fulfilled desire, even when the outer world has not yet caught up. Living in the end is an act of radical faith. It is choosing to prioritize your inner conviction over external conditions. And here is the paradox. Once you truly live in the end, the outer world begins to rearrange itself to match your new identity. The world cannot help but yield to your dominant state of being. This state must become natural. It should feel so real to you that you no longer question it. You no longer hope for wealth. You move through your day with the confidence of someone who already has it. You no longer seek signs. You are the sign. The world reflects who you are being, not what you are wanting. When doubts arise, and they will, do not fight them. Simply return to the state. Re-enter the end in your imagination. See it, feel it, dwell in it. Let it soothe you and guide you. Let the feeling of the wish fulfilled be your resting place. When this becomes your default state, life begins to bend around your new identity. Understand this. Your desire was not given to torment you. It was given to awaken you. It is a seed from a higher realm, and it comes complete with all that is required for its fulfillment. But you must nourish it by living as though it is already so. So today, make the decision. Stop postponing your wealth. Step into the feeling of already being that which you desire. Don't wait for the end. Live in the end. And from that place, all things are not only possible, they are inevitable. Wealth is not a number in a bank account. It is a state of being. It is not something you acquire. It is something you embody. When you assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you no longer act as someone who is striving for success. You become the person who already possesses it. And in that becoming, the outer world must rearrange itself to mirror your inner transformation. Your emotional state is creative. It sends out a silent signal to the universe, and that signal is always being answered. When you feel poor, needy, or lacking, even if you mask it with positive words, you are still declaring, "I do not have," and the world echoes back that truth. But when you feel rich, secure, and abundant, regardless of your current circumstances, you are broadcasting a new signal, one that commands reality to follow. Assumption is not about effort or force. It is about surrendering into the truth of the desired state. To assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled means to dwell in the emotional atmosphere of already having what you desire. It is feeling as though your desire has already been realized and living from that conviction. You don't wait for evidence to feel differently. You feel differently first, and then the evidence appears. This is the great reversal that most never understand. The world teaches you to react, but creation demands that you lead. You must feel the result before the result can show itself. Feel rich now, and the world must catch up. Imagine what it would feel like if money were no longer a concern. Let that feeling rise in your body. Would you feel relieved, grateful, free? Would you walk differently, speak with more certainty, sleep more peacefully? That feeling is the key. It is not fantasy, it is the blueprint. You must move into that state, occupy it fully, and let it become familiar. And here's the beautiful secret. You can do this now. No one can stop you from entering the state of wealth in your mind. You don't need permission. You don't need the current balance in your bank account to change. You need only to accept, emotionally and mentally, that you are what you desire to be. When the feeling becomes natural, the world responds. It may not happen instantly, but it must happen. The laws of creation are exact. Persist in the assumption and do not let temporary appearances shake your inner conviction. The longer you remain in the state, the more inevitable its expression becomes. So practice this daily. Sit quietly, close your eyes, and step into the version of you who is already rich. Not tomorrow, not later, now. Feel the warmth of abundance, the confidence, the calm power of wealth. Let it clothe your mind. Let it become who you are. You are not chasing wealth, you are revealing it. The treasure is already within you. Assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, and your world will reshape itself in perfect harmony with the truth you now dare to feel. One of the greatest obstacles to manifestation is the mind's insistence on controlling the path. It wants to know how everything will happen, when it will arrive, and through whom. But that need to micromanage life is what keeps your desire at arm's length. The truth is, the path to millions is not your concern. It is not your job to figure out how abundance will reach you. Your only responsibility is to remain loyal to the state of already being wealthy. Desire does not come alone. It carries with it the means of its own fulfillment. The moment you truly desire something and assume it has already done, the unseen begins to move. Invisible currents shift, people, opportunities, and events begin to align. But these movements happen beyond your line of sight. You may not see the orchestration, but it is happening nonetheless. When you constantly ask how, you are declaring that you do not trust the process. You are telling the universe, I do not believe this can happen unless I control every step. And so you block the flow. You introduce doubt, tension, and fear. You step out of the end state and into the waiting state. And in doing so, you delay your own manifestation. Eventually, detachment from the how is not indifference. It is wisdom. It is knowing that your imagination is the seed and your assumption is the soil. Once planted, your only job is to remain faithful to what you've created within. You do not dig up the seed to check if it's growing. You water it with confidence. You nourish it with repetition. You protect it from doubt. Faith is demonstrated by rest. If you truly believed you were already wealthy, you wouldn't worry about the mechanics. You wouldn't obsess over the next step. You would trust that all things are working for your good, even if you cannot yet see how. You would move with quiet certainty. You would live your life with a calm assurance that what you've imagined is already on its way. Miracles often arrive through the most ordinary channels. You may receive a phone call, a job offer, a new connection, or even a seemingly random idea. But these are not accidents. They are the result of your inner state. Do not try to predict how it will unfold. Simply remain in the feeling of being wealthy now, and allow the path to reveal itself in its own time and form. Let go of the timeline. Let go of the need to plan every detail. Let go of the urge to doubt when things seem still. Trust that the stillness is not stagnation, it is preparation. The invisible is organizing on your behalf. Doors will open and you will know which one to walk through when the moment comes. Stay loyal to the end. That is your only task. Feel it, live it, believe it. The how will take care of itself. Life is not asking you to control it, only to align with it. Detach from the how, and you will witness the impossible become inevitable. Words are not just sounds. They are declarations of identity. Every time you speak, whether aloud or silently in your mind, you are casting a vote for the version of yourself you believe in. If you want to experience the life of a millionaire, you must begin to speak from that reality, not about it as a distant goal, but from it as a present truth. There is a powerful difference between saying one day I'll be rich and saying I am wealthy now. The former places your desire in the future, always just out of reach. The latter anchors it in the present, where creation actually occurs. You are not trying to become something, you are affirming that you already are. This is where most people go wrong. They speak about what they want, complain about what they don't have, and talk about lack as if it were unchangeable. They beg, wish, and hope, not realizing that these postures only reinforce their current state. But to truly shift your reality, you must speak from the place you wish to occupy. You must claim it in thought, word, and feeling. Imagine the inner dialogue of someone who already possesses great wealth. Would they worry about bills? Would they obsess over price tags? Would they speak in terms of struggle and limitation? No. Their words would reflect confidence, peace, generosity, and abundance. Begin to speak in this way, and you align your vibration with the very reality you wish to enter. Let your inner conversations be filled with certainty, not desire. When you talk to yourself, and you do, all day long, let those quiet conversations reflect your new identity. Say to yourself, I always have more than enough. Money flows easily to me. I make decisions from a place of power. I am blessed beyond measure. You are not lying. Even when appearances contradict your words, persist. Speak from the end result, not from the temporary facts. Creation is not confirmed by what you see, it is confirmed by what you declare. You are not waiting for proof. You are giving life to truth. When challenges arise, do not fall back into old patterns of speech. Speak as the version of yourself who already knows how this story ends. You are not the character trying to win. You are the one who has already won. Let your tone, your energy, your words reflect that reality. Speak with calm authority. Speak with joy. Speak with unshakable belief. Every word you speak carves out your future. Use them wisely. Stop telling the story of struggle. Start telling the story of success. Let the language of wealth become natural to you. Not just in affirmations, but in your ordinary conversations, in your private thoughts, and in your daily choices. You don't need the world to validate you. You need only to remain true to the version of yourself that already exists in imagination. Speak from it, and life will follow your voice. The universe responds to identity, not effort. So speak now, not as someone who hopes to be a millionaire, but as one who already is. Manifestation is not a momentary flash of inspiration. It is a steady, deliberate act of faith. The difference between those who manifest their desires and those who fall short is not talent, luck, or external circumstances. It is persistence. Doubt delays, but persistence creates. You must remain loyal to your imagined reality until it becomes the only truth you recognize. To persist means to occupy the state of your fulfilled desire again and again, regardless of what your senses tell you. The world around you may scream the opposite of your vision. Your bank account might not yet reflect abundance. Circumstances may appear unchanged, but the persistent one does not waver. They continue to walk, speak, and feel as though their desire is already fact. This is the secret. What you consistently accept as true within must eventually become true without. The world cannot resist your sustained inner conviction. But most people give up too soon. They plant the seed of wealth in their imagination, but when the results don't appear instantly, they dig it up with doubt. They let the visible override the invisible. And so they start over again and again, never allowing the new state to take root. But if you will persist, quietly, confidently, without needing evidence, you will see your assumption harden into fact. It may come slowly at first, like a distant echo, a small shift here, a new opportunity there. But soon the momentum builds. Life begins to reshape itself around your dominant state. The outer world conforms to the inner blueprint. Persistence is not about force, it's about faithfulness. You are remaining faithful to your new identity not because you are trying to make something happen, but because you know it already has. There is nothing to chase, only something to become. You live as the millionaire now, not tomorrow, not someday, but now. You buy in your imagination. You live in gratitude. You think from abundance. You do this again and again until it becomes natural. And when it becomes natural, it becomes real. Every great manifestation begins with persistence. The dreamer holds to their dream through silence, through setbacks, through appearances. They trust the unseen more than the seen. They speak wealth into being even when no one else sees it. They are not moved by facts. They are anchored in truth. And that truth is simple. You already are what you desire to be. It is done. The only thing left is to remain in that knowing long enough for the outer world to catch up. You don't need to beg, hustle, or prove anything. You only need to persist. So hold the image, feel the feeling, speak the words. Walk in the assumption and do it until there is no room for doubt, until it becomes effortless, until the inner becomes outer. Reality will bend, the world will conform, and what once lived only in your imagination will stand before you as fact. So now you know. The millionaire version of you is not waiting somewhere in the distance. It is here, now, ready to be claimed. Your wealth does not begin with action, but with being. You become it in thought. You assume it in feeling. You express it in speech, and you remain faithful to it in imagination until the unseen becomes seen. Live in the end. Assume the feeling. Detach from the how. Speak from it. Persist without wavering. This is the divine formula. This is the path walked by those who understand that reality begins within, no matter where you are right now. Know this, your current circumstances are not the final word. You are the operant power. The authority over your life rests in your ability to feel a new state, to inhabit it, and to trust it until it becomes flesh. Dare to believe that what you imagine is more real than what you see. Dare to remain faithful to your inner vision in a world that insists you be realistic. And dare, above all, to feel now what you once reserved for the future. Because when you feel it now, the future must obey. Thank you. Thank you for opening your heart to this message. Thank you for daring to dream bigger. And thank you for choosing, right now, to step into the most powerful truth of all. You already are what you desire to be. The rest is just catching up.
Ladies and gentlemen, let us consider the idea of being treated like a queen not as a title granted by another, but as a reflection of how you perceive and present yourself. The world, particularly men, responds to the signals you emit. If you want to be treated like a queen, it begins with recognizing and embodying the qualities of royalty, dignity, grace, and strength. First, let us explore standards. The standards you hold for yourself act as a boundary line for how others engage with you. If you allow yourself to be treated as an afterthought, you send a message that this is acceptable. But when you set clear, unwavering standards, you challenge others to rise to meet them. The right man will respect you for it. Second, consider the power of self-respect. It's a magnetic force. When you respect yourself deeply, you move differently, speak with conviction, and carry an aura that commands admiration. Men are naturally drawn to those who are certain of their own value because they recognize that this certainty is rare. Next, authenticity is your crown. In a world filled with pretenses, a woman who is unapologetically herself is a breath of fresh air. Men don't admire perfection, they admire authenticity. Your flaws, your quirks, and your genuine expressions are what make you unforgettable. But being a queen isn't just about how you are seen, it's also about how you connect. Emotional intelligence is your scepter. A queen doesn't seek to dominate or control, she inspires through understanding, empathy, and emotional depth. When you connect to a man's mind and heart, you invite a level of respect and devotion that surpasses the superficial. Lead by example. A queen doesn't demand respect, she exudes it. She treats herself and others with kindness, fairness, and integrity. Her actions speak louder than any words, and her presence alone shifts the atmosphere. Men will start treating you like a queen when you start treating yourself as one. Define your worth, respect your boundaries, embrace your authenticity, master emotional intelligence, and lead with grace. In doing so, you will not only attract admiration but also inspire others to be their best selves. After all, a true queen elevates everyone around her. The way others treat you is often a direct reflection of the standards you set for yourself. Men, in particular, respond to the boundaries and expectations you establish and how you allow them to engage with you. This is not about creating a checklist or rigid rules, but about living in alignment with the values and principles that define your worth. When you hold yourself to high standards, you communicate a message without ever needing to say a word that you know your value and you won't settle for less than what aligns with your sense of self-respect. Your standards begin with clarity, clarity, clarity about who you are, what you deserve, and what you are unwilling to tolerate. When you define your worth, it is not an act of arrogance, but one of self-awareness. It means recognizing your unique qualities, your strengths, and even your vulnerabilities, and embracing them as parts of a whole. This clarity allows you to project confidence, and confidence is magnetic. A woman who knows what she stands for and moves through life with purpose becomes someone others naturally admire and respect. When you respect yourself, you send out an unspoken signal to the world about how you expect to be treated. This respect is reflected in how you carry yourself, the way you speak, and the choices you make. It's in the relationships you nurture and the ones you let go of when they no longer serve your growth or well-being. Men notice these things. They observe the way you respond to challenges, the way you demand fairness without hostility, and the way you value your time and energy. When you set clear boundaries, you are not being harsh or unapproachable, you are simply honoring yourself. Boundaries are essential. They are not walls to shut people out, but guidelines to ensure that interactions remain respectful and mutually beneficial. When you articulate what you will and will not accept, you set a precedent for how others engage with you. A man who truly values you will not see these boundaries as limitations, but as opportunities to step up and meet your standards. Those who are unwilling to do so are not rejecting you, they are simply revealing that they are not aligned with the respect and value you deserve. Defining your worth also involves consistent self-investment. When you invest time and energy into becoming the best version of yourself, whether it's through education, personal growth, or pursuing your passions, you reinforce your standards. You demonstrate that you are not waiting for external validation to feel whole. This independence is attractive because it shows that you are capable of creating a fulfilling life on your own terms. Men are drawn to women who respect themselves because it challenges them to reflect on their own behavior. When you uphold your standards, you inspire others to treat you with the same level of care and regard. This is not manipulation, it is simply the natural outcome of living authentically and with intention. Define your worth, respect yourself deeply, and watch as the world, including men, responds in kind. Self-respect is the foundation upon which all meaningful relationships are built. It is not just about how you treat yourself, but about the energy you project to the world. When you hold yourself in high regard, you send a powerful message to those around you, including men, about how you expect to be treated. The way you perceive yourself creates a ripple effect, influencing the way others engage with you. If you walk through life with dignity, confidence, and an unwavering sense of your own worth, you naturally inspire admiration and respect. Carrying yourself with dignity means acknowledging your intrinsic value regardless of external circumstances. It is not about arrogance or placing yourself above others, but about maintaining a steady sense of self-worth that is not easily shaken. Dignity shines through in your posture, your speech, and your actions. It is the quiet assurance that you are enough as you are and that you deserve to be treated with kindness and respect. When men encounter a woman who exudes this inner strength, they are instinctively drawn to her. They see someone who values herself and, in turn, inspires them to value her as well. Confidence is another essential aspect of self-respect. Confidence is not the absence of insecurity, but the willingness to move forward despite it. It is the belief in your abilities, your decisions, and your capacity to handle life's challenges. Confidence allows you to speak your mind without fear, to set boundaries without guilt, and to pursue your goals with determination. When men see a woman who is confident, they see someone who is secure in her identity. This security is attractive because it creates a sense of stability and trust. A confident woman does not seek validation from others because she already knows her worth. Self-respect also requires consistency in how you treat yourself. The small, everyday choices you make, how you prioritize your well-being, how you allow others to speak to you, and how you handle setbacks all contribute to the level of respect you command. For example, if you consistently allow others to disregard your needs or undermine your boundaries, you send a message that this behavior is acceptable. However, when you stand firm in your principles, even when it is uncomfortable or unpopular, you reinforce your self-respect. Men notice these patterns. They pay attention to how you navigate situations, and they adjust their behavior accordingly. Self-respect is not about perfection, it is about authenticity and self-compassion. A woman who respects herself does not tear herself down for her mistakes. Instead, she learns from them and grows. She embraces her imperfections as part of what makes her unique. This authenticity is compelling because it is real and relatable. Men admire women who are comfortable in their own skin because it creates an atmosphere of ease and honesty. When you master the art of self-respect, you create a standard for how others, including men, treat you. They mirror back the dignity, confidence, and care you show yourself. By valuing yourself, you set the stage for relationships rooted in genuine respect and admiration. Authentic femininity is a powerful force that blends strength with grace, and it is a quality that captivates and attracts those who truly value the essence of who you are. In a world that often encourages women to conform to certain ideals or societal expectations, embracing your authentic self allows you to step into a space where you no longer need to wear masks or pretend to be something you're not. It is about celebrating the unique combination of traits that make you who you are and honoring the beauty and strength that comes with being unapologetically feminine. Strength and grace are not opposing forces, they are complementary. Strength does not have to be loud or aggressive, nor does grace need to be passive or fragile. True strength is found in the ability to navigate life's challenges with resilience and poise. It's in your ability to remain grounded in the face of adversity, to stand firm in your beliefs, and to advocate for yourself with dignity. This strength, however, does not negate the gentleness or kindness that you can embody. Grace is about handling life's ups and downs with elegance, showing compassion and exuding calmness even when the world around you is in chaos. When you embrace both strength and grace, you become a woman who commands respect while offering warmth and understanding in equal measure. Embracing authentic femininity means rejecting the notion that you must fit into a mold or live up to someone else's definition of what it means to be a woman. It is about accepting your own body, your emotions, and your natural tendencies. This acceptance allows you to cultivate a sense of self-confidence that is not based on external validation, but on an inner knowing that you are enough. Authentic femininity is about being true to your emotions and your desires, acknowledging them without judgment, and giving yourself permission to experience life in all its fullness. When you embrace who you truly are, you begin to attract men who value and honor the real you. These are the men who see your worth not in superficial terms, but in the depth of your character, your integrity, and your authenticity. They are drawn to the way you carry yourself with confidence and the ease with which you interact with the world. They appreciate the combination of strength and vulnerability you possess, recognizing that a woman who embraces her femininity is someone who can offer love, respect, and partnership in a way that is enriching and fulfilling for both people involved. Authentic femininity also means embracing your desires and your ambitions. It's about being confident enough to pursue your dreams and goals without fearing judgment or the pressure to conform to traditional roles. It's a woman who who pursues her passions with fervor and dedication is not only inspiring but magnetic. Men who value authenticity will be attracted to your ambition and your commitment to living life on your own terms. They will see you as a partner who brings strength, wisdom, and a sense of purpose to the relationship, not just someone who fits into a conventional mold. In embracing your authentic femininity, you invite a life where love, respect, and admiration flow naturally. The right men will see you for who you truly are, the unique blend of strength, grace, and authenticity that makes you unforgettable. When you are true to yourself, you create space for others to do the same, fostering relationships built on mutual understanding, admiration, and shared growth. Emotional intelligence is the foundation of meaningful and lasting relationships. It is the ability to understand, manage, and express your emotions while being attuned to the emotions of others. In the context of romantic relationships, it is a trait that not only fosters mutual understanding but also creates a sense of emotional safety and depth. Men are naturally drawn to women who exhibit emotional intelligence because it signals maturity, empathy, and the capacity to connect on a deeper level. This quality transforms ordinary interactions into meaningful exchanges and builds a foundation for trust, respect, and genuine intimacy. To cultivate emotional intelligence, the first step is self-awareness. Understanding your emotions and recognizing how they influence your thoughts and behaviors is key to creating harmony within yourself and your relationships. Self-awareness allows you to identify patterns in your emotional responses and address them constructively. When you are in tune with your own feelings, you are less likely to react impulsively or defensively, and more likely to approach situations with clarity and composure. This self-regulation not only benefits you but also sets the tone for how others engage with you. Empathy is another cornerstone of emotional intelligence. It is the ability to see the world through someone else's perspective, to feel their emotions, and to respond with kindness and understanding. In a relationship, empathy bridges the gap between two individuals, fostering a sense of connection and partnership. When a man feels that his emotions are understood and validated, he becomes more open and willing to share his thoughts and feelings. But this vulnerability creates a space for mutual growth and a deeper bond. Communication is also a critical component of emotional intelligence. It is not just about expressing your own needs and desires, but also about listening actively and responding thoughtfully. When you communicate with emotional intelligence, you go beyond surface-level exchanges and engage in conversations that explore values, dreams, and emotions. This level of communication demonstrates that you are invested in understanding your partner on a profound level. Men appreciate this depth because it shows that you are not only interested in them but also willing to build a relationship that is rooted in authenticity and trust. But emotional intelligence also involves managing conflicts in a healthy and constructive manner. Disagreements are inevitable in any relationship, but how they are handled determines the strength of the connection. A woman who approaches conflicts with patience, understanding, and a willingness to find solutions demonstrates emotional maturity. Instead of resorting to blame or avoidance, she seeks to address the issue with respect and fairness. This approach not only resolves the immediate problem but also strengthens the relationship by reinforcing a sense of partnership. When you cultivate emotional intelligence, you inspire a higher level of connection in your relationships. Men are drawn to this quality because it creates an environment of emotional safety and mutual respect. It shows that you are capable of navigating the complexities of a relationship with grace and understanding. By being emotionally attuned, you build a bond that goes beyond attraction and becomes a source of genuine fulfillment and lasting love. Leading by example is one of the most powerful ways to inspire respect and admiration. When you embody the qualities of balance, intention, and self-worth, you demonstrate to the world how you expect to be treated. This principle applies not just to how you interact with others, but also to how you live your life. When you carry yourself with the poise and dignity of a queen, people naturally mirror that respect back to you. It is a silent but compelling message. The way you treat yourself sets the standard for how others will treat you. Living with balance means cultivating harmony in all aspects of your life. It is about prioritizing your physical, emotional, and mental well-being. A woman who is balanced radiates calm and confidence even in the face of challenges. She knows when to push forward and when to rest, when to give and when to receive. This balance is evident in her relationships as she approaches them with fairness and emotional stability. Men are drawn to this quality because it creates an atmosphere of reliability and trust. A balanced woman demonstrates that she values herself enough to create a life that supports her happiness and growth. Intention is another key aspect of leading by example. To live intentionally is to act with purpose, making choices that align with your values and goals. This requires clarity about what you want and the courage to pursue it. An intentional woman does not allow external pressures or fleeting emotions to dictate her actions. Instead, she approaches life with focus and determination. This sense of purpose is magnetic because it signals strength and independence. When a man sees a woman who knows what she wants and is committed to achieving it, he cannot help but admire her resolve and ambition. At the core of leading by example is an unwavering sense of self-worth. This is not about arrogance or entitlement, but about a deep and abiding belief in your own value. A woman who knows her worth does not settle for less than she deserves, whether in her personal life, her career, or her relationships. She sets boundaries with confidence, communicates her needs clearly, and walks away from situations that do not honor her. Men respect this because it shows she has a strong sense of identity and integrity. She is not looking for someone to complete her, but for a partner who complements her already fulfilling life. The way you treat yourself speaks louder than any words you could say. When you prioritize self-care, practice kindness toward yourself, and hold yourself to high standards, others take notice. They begin to understand that you are someone who values herself and expects the same from those around her. This respect is not demanded but earned through your actions and the example you set. Leading by example is about embodying the qualities you wish to attract in others. It is about living authentically and confidently, showing the world that you are a queen not through proclamations but through your actions. When you live this way, respect and admiration follow naturally, creating a life where you are treated with the dignity and honor you deserve. In conclusion, being treated like a queen starts from within. It's about defining your standards with clarity, mastering the art of self-respect, embracing authentic femininity, cultivating emotional intelligence, and leading by example. These qualities, when practiced consistently, radiate strength, confidence, and grace, inspiring others to honor and respect you as you deserve. Men, and indeed everyone, respond to the way you carry yourself. When you align your actions with your values and treat yourself with dignity, you set the standard for how the world engages with you. You are the architect of your life, and the energy you project determines the kind of relationships you attract. Own your worth unapologetically, and the respect and admiration you seek will naturally follow. Thank you for taking the time to reflect on these principles. May you walk forward with confidence, grace, and the unwavering belief that you are deserving of the very best. Every man wants you to detach, not because they want to lose you, but because detachment is a sign of strength, resilience, and personal mastery. The truth is, no one man or woman wants to be in a relationship where emotional dependency looms large. Dependency weakens the foundation of any connection, making it fragile, insecure, and prone to collapse. You see, detachment isn't about pushing people away. It's about freeing yourself from unnecessary emotional entanglements. It's about understanding that you have the power to regulate your own emotions and that no one else can take control of your peace unless you allow them to. When you detach, you're essentially saying, I am whole within myself. I don't need validation from others to know my worth. Many people, especially men, admire and even desire detachment because it represents independence. They are not looking for someone to cling to them, emotionally, mentally, or otherwise. They want someone who can stand alone, who can navigate life's challenges without constantly seeking validation. When you maintain your own emotional autonomy, you show that you are self-sufficient and emotionally mature. This self-sufficiency is incredibly attractive because it speaks of someone who has found peace within themselves and is not swayed by external forces. But here's the core of it: detachment is not about being cold or indifferent. It's about knowing where your boundaries are and respecting them, regardless of the pressure around you. When you detach, you are protecting your energy, maintaining your self-respect, and ensuring that your relationships are based on mutual understanding rather than need. True emotional strength doesn't come from clinging to others or depending on them for your happiness. It comes from recognizing that you are the master of your own emotional state. When you detach from the need to control or be controlled, you empower yourself. You allow yourself to show up in a relationship as a whole person, not someone desperate to fill a void. In relationships, men want to see strength, clarity, and self-respect. They don't want to be your emotional crutch, and they don't want to feel responsible for your emotional well-being. They respect your independence, and they crave an equal partner who will stand by them not because they need them, but because they choose to. So when you detach, you're not losing anything. In fact, you're gaining more freedom, more respect, and more room for authentic, healthy connections. Embrace your detachment and let it become the foundation for stronger, more empowered relationships. Detachment is a concept often misunderstood. Many people equate it with coldness or a lack of care, believing that to detach means to distance oneself emotionally from others, to cut ties, or to withdraw from meaningful connections. But detachment is far from that. It is not an abandonment of relationships or responsibilities, rather, it is a powerful practice of reclaiming your personal power, maintaining your boundaries, and refusing to let external circumstances dictate your emotional state or decisions. It is the art of standing firm in who you are while navigating the complexities of human interaction. At its core, detachment is about freedom from the need to control others and freedom from being controlled by them. In life, there will always be circumstances that challenge us, people who test our patience, and events that trigger emotional responses. These are inevitable. However, when we attach ourselves too tightly to outcomes, opinions, or the behavior of others, we surrender our power, we allow external forces to manipulate our inner world, making our peace and happiness contingent on things we cannot always influence. Detachment breaks this cycle. It teaches us that while we cannot control the world around us, we can always control how we respond to it. Imagine being in a storm. Detachment does not mean denying the storm's existence or pretending it doesn't affect you. Instead, it means finding your center within the chaos, remaining grounded, composed, and self-aware, even as the winds rage around you. It's about recognizing that the storm is temporary, that it is external to you, and that you have the strength to weather it without losing yourself. This internal steadiness is what detachment cultivates. One of the most significant aspects of detachment is the establishment of healthy boundaries. Boundaries are not walls meant to shut people out. They are guidelines that define how we expect to be treated and how we treat ourselves. When you practice detachment, you learn to honor your own needs and limits without guilt or fear of judgment. You stop overextending yourself to please others, and you no longer sacrifice your well-being for the sake of external approval. Detachment allows you to engage with others from a place of mutual respect rather than from a place of neediness or dependency. Detachment also challenges the notion that we must control everything to be happy. Many people fall into the trap of believing that their happiness depends on achieving specific outcomes or gaining the approval of certain individuals. This mindset creates a relentless cycle of striving, worrying, and dissatisfaction. Detachment, however, shifts the focus inward. It teaches you to find contentment in the present moment and to trust in your ability to handle whatever comes your way. When you let go of the need to control, you make space for life to unfold naturally, often in ways that exceed your expectations. Another critical element of detachment is emotional resilience. Emotions are a natural and essential part of being human, but when we allow them to dominate us, we lose clarity and perspective. Detachment doesn't mean suppressing your emotions or becoming indifferent to them. Instead, it means observing them without becoming consumed by them. It's the ability to feel deeply while maintaining perspective, to acknowledge your emotions without letting them dictate your actions. This emotional maturity is a cornerstone of detachment. Relationships, too, benefit greatly from detachment. When you detach, you stop trying to control others or mold them to fit your expectations. You accept people for who they are, flaws and all, and give them the space to be themselves. This creates an atmosphere of mutual respect and trust, allowing relationships to flourish naturally. Detachment doesn't weaken connections, it strengthens them by removing the weight of unrealistic demands and fostering authenticity. Detachment is a journey inward. It's about reconnecting with yourself and realizing that your worth, happiness, and peace are not tied to external circumstances or other people. It's a practice of self-respect and self-reliance, a way of living that empowers you to navigate life's challenges with grace and confidence. When you embrace detachment, you reclaim your personal power, create healthier relationships, and cultivate a profound sense of inner freedom that no external force can take away. It is a concept that strikes at the very core of human relationships, yet it is often fraught with complexities that can lead to tension and imbalance. For many men, the idea of dependency, whether emotional or psychological, can feel like a threat to their sense of autonomy and control. This fear of dependency is not about avoiding relationships or rejecting emotional intimacy, rather, it reflects a deep-seated desire to maintain personal power and respect in interactions. It's rooted in the belief that mutual strength and independence create the healthiest and most fulfilling connections. When it becomes excessive, creates an imbalance in relationships. When one person relies too heavily on another, be it for emotional validation, decision-making, or stability, it can place an undue burden on the other individual. For men, this dynamic often feels suffocating, as it undermines their ability to engage with others from a place of equality and mutual respect. Dependency shifts the balance of power, making one party overly reliant while the other feels the weight of responsibility for someone else's happiness. This is not a foundation on which trust and partnership thrive. The desire for detachment often arises from this fear of being trapped in a dynamic where dependency erodes boundaries. Men, like anyone else, value relationships where they are respected for who they are, not for the emotional support or solutions they can provide. This respect is closely tied to the independence of the other person. When someone is self-sufficient, they bring their whole self into a relationship not as a fragment seeking completion, but as a complete individual capable of sharing and receiving without the need to cling or control. Self-sufficiency is magnetic because it reflects inner strength. Men often admire individuals who can stand on their own, navigate challenges independently, and maintain a strong sense of self, even in the context of a relationship. This admiration is rooted in the belief that independence fosters equality. When both individuals in a relationship are self-reliant, neither one feels the need to dominate or yield excessively to the other. Instead, they can meet as equals, creating a dynamic that is balanced and empowering for both. Unwavering boundaries are another critical aspect of why men value detachment. Boundaries are not about building walls or keeping people at a distance. They are about defining what is acceptable and what isn't, both for oneself and in relationships. When someone has clear boundaries, it communicates self-respect and self-awareness. It shows that they know their worth and will not compromise it for the sake of pleasing others. Men respect these boundaries because they create a framework of trust. They know where they stand and what is expected, which reduces uncertainty and fosters a sense of security. When boundaries are weak or absent, dependency often takes root. Without clear lines, one person may begin to overstep, taking more than they give, or one may feel compelled to give more than they should to keep the peace. This dynamic not only breeds resentment but also diminishes respect. Men, like anyone else, want to engage with individuals who hold their own ground, who are not afraid to say no, and who can assert their needs without fear of rejection. This is the hallmark of a strong, detached individual. Dependency, when unchecked, can also stifle growth, both personal and relational. For men, there is a natural inclination to seek growth and challenges, both within themselves and in their partnerships. When a relationship is rooted in dependency, it can feel like a weight rather than a source of inspiration. It limits the ability of both parties to explore their full potential, as the focus shifts to maintaining the status quo rather than evolving together. Detachment, on the other hand, encourages growth by allowing space for individuality. It acknowledges that two strong, independent people can come together not out of need, but out of choice, and that choice is far more powerful than dependency. The fear of dependency is not about avoiding love or connection. It's about preserving the essence of what makes those connections meaningful. Men respect and value individuals who bring their strength, independence, and clear boundaries into relationships. These qualities not only create a healthier dynamic, but also allow both parties to thrive as individuals. Detachment is not a rejection of intimacy, it's an invitation to engage in relationships from a place of equality, respect, and mutual empowerment. When dependency is replaced with independence and balance, relationships become not a source of burden, but a foundation for shared growth and fulfillment. Empowerment through independence is one of the most transformative journeys a person can undertake. Detachment does not mean isolation or a lack of connection with others. Rather, it signifies a deep commitment to self-reliance, personal growth, and emotional resilience. When you detach, you reclaim your power by no longer allowing your sense of self-worth or happiness to depend on external validation. This shift fosters strength, clarity, and confidence, which in turn commands respect. Independence is a beacon. It attracts others not through neediness, but through the quiet assurance of someone who knows their own value and does not require constant affirmation. When you are independent, you project a sense of wholeness. This is immensely attractive because it signals that you are secure in who you are. Independence doesn't mean that you refuse help or support, rather it means that you do not depend on others to define your worth or fulfill your emotional needs. People who are independent understand that they alone are responsible for their happiness, their decisions, and their growth. This level of self-awareness and accountability is magnetic because it demonstrates maturity and stability. Men, in particular, are drawn to this quality as it fosters equality and respect in relationships. Relying on someone else for emotional validation creates a dynamic where power becomes uneven. When you seek constant reassurance or approval from others, you place your self-worth in their hands. This not only burdens them, but also diminishes your own confidence and independence. It sends the message that your happiness hinges on their actions, creating a relationship that is rooted in need rather than mutual respect. In contrast, when you detach, you take full ownership of your emotions. You no longer rely on others to validate your feelings or decisions, and this autonomy liberates you from the fear of rejection or disappointment. Detachment strengthens you because it teaches you to find fulfillment within yourself. Instead of looking outward for validation, you turn inward and cultivate a deep connection with your own values, goals, and desires. This self-reliance builds resilience, enabling you to face challenges without feeling overwhelmed or defeated. It allows you to navigate relationships with grace as you no longer fear losing yourself in them. When you are secure in your independence, you engage with others from a place of strength rather than neediness. This balance is what creates relationships built on mutual respect and admiration. Independence also fosters personal empowerment because it aligns you with your true self. When you are detached, you are free to make decisions based on your own values and priorities, rather than being swayed by external pressures or the expectations of others. This clarity allows you to set healthy boundaries and honor them without guilt. Boundaries are essential in any relationship because they protect your emotional and mental well-being. They signal to others that you respect yourself and that you expect the same in return. Men, in particular, respect individuals who have clear boundaries because it shows strength, self-awareness, and a commitment to personal integrity. Another powerful aspect of independence is the confidence it cultivates. When you know that you can rely on yourself, you exude a sense of assurance that is both inspiring and attractive. Confidence is not arrogance, it is the quiet belief in your own abilities and worth. This self-assuredness allows you to engage with others authentically, without fear of judgment or rejection. Men are naturally drawn to individuals who are confident in themselves, because it creates an atmosphere of trust and stability. When you are independent, you don't need to prove your worth or compete for attention. Your presence speaks for itself. In relationships, independence enhances connection rather than diminishing it. When both individuals are self-reliant, they come together not out of necessity, but out of genuine desire. This creates a dynamic where each person can grow and thrive without feeling constrained or dependent. Men value this kind of partnership because it is rooted in equality and mutual support. When you are independent, you bring your full self into the relationship, offering strength, insight, and companionship without losing your individuality. Detachment and independence are not about rejecting relationships or denying emotional connection. They are about creating a foundation of strength and self-reliance that allows you to engage with others from a place of empowerment. When you detach, you take control of your own life and emotions, freeing yourself from the need for constant validation. This empowerment through independence not only enhances your own well-being, but also attracts relationships that are healthy, balanced, and respectful. Independence is a gift you give to yourself, and it is one that naturally draws others to you for all the right reasons. The strength of emotional control lies at the heart of personal empowerment and inner peace. Emotional detachment is often misunderstood as indifference or a lack of feeling, but in truth it is a profound form of mastery over one's inner world. It is not about suppressing emotions or avoiding relationships, rather, it is about maintaining a state of emotional balance and resilience, regardless of external circumstances. When you achieve emotional detachment, you gain the ability to navigate life's challenges with clarity and composure, ensuring that no one can manipulate or disrupt your peace. Emotional control begins with self-awareness. To manage your emotions effectively, you must first understand them, acknowledging your feelings without allowing them to overpower you. This does not mean denying your emotions or pretending they don't exist. It means observing them with curiosity and detachment. For example, when anger arises, instead of acting on it impulsively, you can step back, assess its root cause, and choose a measured response. This practice not only prevents rash decisions, but also strengthens your ability to handle future emotional triggers with greater ease. One of the key benefits of emotional detachment is freedom from external manipulation. In many relationships and interactions, emotions can be used as tools of control, whether intentionally or unintentionally. Someone might provoke anger, guilt, or fear to elicit a specific reaction from you. When you cultivate emotional control, you become immune to such tactics. By refusing to react impulsively, you deny others the power to dictate your behavior or influence your decisions. This doesn't mean shutting people out, it means engaging with them from a place of strength and self-assurance rather than vulnerability. Emotional detachment also fosters resilience in the face of adversity. Life is unpredictable, and challenges are inevitable. Whether it's a personal setback, a difficult relationship, or a professional disappointment, maintaining emotional control allows you to respond to these situations constructively. Instead of being overwhelmed by frustration or despair, you can focus on finding solutions and moving forward. This resilience is not about suppressing pain or discomfort, it's about refusing to let those feelings define you. You acknowledge them, learn from them, and then let them go, reclaiming your focus and energy. A vital aspect of emotional detachment is the ability to set boundaries. When you control your emotions, you can establish clear limits on how others can treat you and what behaviors you will tolerate. These boundaries are essential for maintaining your emotional well-being and ensuring that relationships remain healthy and respectful. Without emotional control, it's easy to let guilt or fear erode your boundaries, leading to resentment and dissatisfaction. But when you are emotionally resilient, you can enforce your boundaries with confidence and grace, protecting your peace without alienating others. It's important to recognize that emotional detachment does not mean becoming cold or unfeeling. On the contrary, it allows you to engage with others more authentically. When you are not ruled by your emotions, you can listen more deeply, communicate more effectively, and empathize without losing yourself in someone else's struggles. Emotional control creates space for compassion and connection because it frees you from the need to react defensively or protectively. You can be present with others without being consumed by their emotions or allowing their state of mind to dictate your own. Developing emotional detachment is a process that requires practice and patience. It involves shifting your focus inward, recognizing that your peace and happiness come from within, not from external validation or circumstances. This shift can be challenging, especially if you are accustomed to seeking approval or reacting strongly to others' opinions. But as you practice mindfulness, self-reflection, and emotional regulation, you will find that detachment becomes second nature. Over time, you will notice a profound transformation in how you approach life's ups and downs. Emotional detachment is not about distancing yourself from feelings or people, it is about reclaiming your power. It is about ensuring that your emotions serve you rather than the other way around. This strength of emotional control allows you to face life with courage and composure, build healthier relationships, and protect your peace in an often chaotic world. It is a gift you give to yourself, one that brings greater clarity, stability, and fulfillment to every aspect of your life. Emotional resilience is not the absence of feeling, it is the mastery of your emotional landscape, a skill that empowers you to live with intention and grace. Detachment at its core is an act of profound self-respect. It is not a withdrawal from others or an indication of apathy, rather it is a clear affirmation of your own worth. By detaching, you signal to the world and to yourself that you value your inner peace, priorities, and well-being above all else. This does not make you selfish, it makes you grounded. To detach is to recognize that while relationships and connections are vital, they should never come at the cost of your individuality, integrity, or self-respect. When you prioritize detachment, you prioritize yourself. This means honoring your own needs, desires, and values instead of constantly bending to accommodate others. For many, this can feel uncomfortable, especially if they've been conditioned to equate self-worth with self-sacrifice. But true self-respect lies in maintaining your identity and boundaries, even within the closest relationships. It's not about building walls to keep others out. It's about creating a strong foundation from which you can connect authentically without losing yourself in the process. It is about taking responsibility for your own happiness. When you rely on others to validate you or fulfill your emotional needs, you hand over your power, you become dependent on their moods, actions, or approval to feel worthy or content. This dynamic is not only draining but also unsustainable as it places the burden of your well-being on someone else. Detaching shifts that responsibility back to where it belongs with you. It allows you to cultivate inner stability, ensuring that your sense of self remains intact, regardless of external circumstances. A key element of detachment as self-respect is the establishment of boundaries. Boundaries are not about rejecting others or being inflexible, they are about protecting your emotional and mental well-being. When you set boundaries, you communicate what is and isn't acceptable in your relationships, and you create a space where mutual respect can thrive. Without boundaries, it's easy to become enmeshed in others' expectations, losing sight of your own needs and desires. But when you detach, you maintain clarity about what you will and won't tolerate, ensuring that your self-worth is never compromised. It also allows you to approach relationships from a place of strength rather than need. When you respect yourself, you don't seek validation or approval from others to feel whole. Instead, you engage with people because you genuinely value their presence, not because you need them to complete you. This shift transforms your relationships, making them healthier and more balanced. It creates an environment where love and connection are freely given, not demanded or expected. Others are drawn to this kind of strength because it reflects confidence, security, and self-assurance. Respecting yourself through detachment does not mean you avoid emotions or connections. In fact, it allows you to experience them more fully and authentically. When you are detached, you are not constantly worrying about how others perceive you or whether you are meeting their expectations. This freedom enables you to be present, to express yourself honestly, and to form deeper, more meaningful bonds. Paradoxically, detachment often strengthens relationships because it removes the pressure of dependency, allowing both parties to flourish individually and together. Detachment also empowers you to walk away when necessary. Self-respect means recognizing when a relationship or situation no longer serves you and having the courage to let it go. This is not an act of cruelty or indifference, it is an act of self-preservation. Staying in a situation that diminishes your worth or violates your boundaries erodes your sense of self over time. Detaching allows you to prioritize your well-being without guilt, ensuring that you remain aligned with your values and goals. Honoring your own needs and desires first is not selfish, it is essential. By putting yourself first, you model self-respect for others and create a standard for how you expect to be treated. You teach others that you value yourself and that you won't accept anything less than respect and consideration. This doesn't make you distant or unapproachable, it makes you someone who is grounded, confident, and whole. It is a powerful statement of your worth, one that inspires others to treat you accordingly. Detachment as self-respect is about balance. It's about recognizing that while relationships and connections enrich our lives, they should never define us. It's about loving and valuing yourself enough to remain true to who you are, no matter the circumstances. Detachment empowers you to live authentically, to connect deeply, and to honor your worth in every interaction. It is a practice of self-love that radiates outward, transforming not only your relationship with yourself, but also your relationships with others. Detachment fosters the foundation for healthier relationships by removing the weight of unhealthy expectations and creating a space where both individuals can thrive. It is a practice of letting go not of love or connection, but of the need to control, cling, or demand. When detachment is embraced, relationships become lighter, more authentic, and more fulfilling, as both parties are free to engage from a place of mutual respect and trust rather than fear or dependence. At the heart of healthy relationships is the principle of mutual respect. Detachment allows each person to honor the other's individuality and autonomy, recognizing that neither is responsible for the other's happiness or sense of self-worth. This respect creates a balanced dynamic where both individuals feel valued for who they are rather than for what they provide. When you approach a relationship with detachment, you're not looking to fill a void or seeking someone to complete you. Instead, you're sharing your life with someone from a place of wholeness and self-assurance. This shift in perspective makes the relationship stronger because it removes the pressure of unrealistic expectations. Trust is another cornerstone of healthy relationships, and detachment naturally nurtures it. When you detach, you relinquish the need to control your partner or monitor their every move. You trust them to be themselves, to make their own choices, and to contribute to the relationship in their own way. This trust fosters an environment of safety and openness where both parties feel free to express their true selves without fear of judgment or retribution. It eliminates the constant need for reassurance, replacing it with a deep-seated confidence in the bond. Detachment also encourages freedom within relationships, which is essential for personal growth and connection. When individuals feel free to pursue their interests, passions, and goals without being tethered to someone else's expectations, they are more likely to flourish. This freedom does not mean a lack of commitment or care. It means that the relationship supports rather than stifles each person's journey. By detaching, you allow your partner to explore their individuality while remaining connected to you. This balance of independence and interdependence strengthens the bond, as both individuals bring their best selves to the relationship. One of the most significant benefits of detachment is that it eliminates unhealthy dependency. In relationships where one or both partners are overly dependent, there is often an underlying sense of imbalance and dissatisfaction. Dependency can lead to feelings of resentment, suffocation, and a loss of identity as one person relies on the other for emotional validation or decision-making. Detachment breaks this cycle by empowering each person to take responsibility for their own happiness and well-being. When both individuals are self-reliant, the relationship becomes a partnership of equals rather than a source of emotional obligation or burden. Detachment also cultivates emotional resilience, which is vital for navigating the ups and downs of any relationship. By detaching, you develop the ability to respond to challenges with clarity and composure rather than being swept away by emotional reactions. And this resilience allows you to address conflicts constructively and maintain a sense of perspective even during difficult times. It also ensures that your emotional state is not entirely dependent on the actions or moods of your partner, giving you the stability needed to weather storms together. Detachment enhances communication within relationships. When you are not entangled in unhealthy expectations or fears, you can listen more attentively and express yourself more honestly. Detachment removes the need for defensive or manipulative behavior, allowing for open and authentic dialogue. This transparency builds trust and understanding as both individuals feel heard and valued. Detachment paves the way for unconditional love. By releasing the need to control or change your partner, you can accept them as they are, flaws, quirks, and all. This acceptance creates a profound sense of connection as both parties feel seen and appreciated for who they truly are. Unconditional love thrives in the absence of expectations, and detachment makes room for it to grow. Detachment is not about distancing yourself from relationships, but about creating a healthier space within them. It allows both individuals to engage from a place of strength, respect, and authenticity, free from the constraints of dependency or control. By fostering trust, freedom, and mutual understanding, detachment transforms relationships into partnerships where both parties can thrive individually and together. It is not a rejection of connection, but a celebration of it, one that honors the unique journeys of both individuals while nurturing the bond they share. In conclusion, detachment is not about isolating yourself or diminishing the importance of relationships. It's about reclaiming your personal power, fostering emotional resilience, and creating space for genuine, healthy connections. By detaching, you establish boundaries, nurture self-respect, and empower yourself to engage with others from a place of strength and authenticity. This approach not only enhances your sense of self, but also transforms your relationships into partnerships built on mutual respect, trust, and freedom. Detachment allows you to honor your worth and to give and receive love in its truest, most unconditional form. Thank you for taking the time to reflect on this powerful concept and for being open to understanding the transformative potential of detachment in your life. Ladies and gentlemen, as we stand on the precipice of a new year, a question arises: what will make 2025 different? Will it be another year of fleeting resolutions and abandoned goals, or will it be the year you finally break through? The answer lies in a single word: consistency. Consistency is not glamorous. It isn't wrapped in the excitement of sudden breakthroughs or instant success. Instead, it's quiet, persistent, and often uncelebrated. But it's the only force that transforms intentions into reality. First, understand the power of small wins. Each day you are presented with a choice to act in alignment with your goals or to deviate. Success isn't built in grand gestures, it's the cumulative effect of small, deliberate actions taken day after day. Second, prioritize discipline over motivation. Motivation is a fleeting emotion, unreliable and temporary. Discipline, on the other hand, is a habit of structure that ensures you show up regardless of how you feel. Don't wait to feel ready. Build systems and rituals that compel you to act. Third, clarify your vision. Without a clear understanding of what you're working toward, consistency has no direction. Take time to articulate what you want in 2025. Make it vivid and emotionally compelling. Know your why so deeply that it anchors you when distractions arise. Fourth, embrace discomfort. There is no growth without challenge, no transformation without effort. Every time you push yourself to act in the face of resistance, you strengthen your character and your ability to endure. Consistency is forged in the fires of discomfort. Fifth, measure your progress. You cannot improve what you do not track. Develop the habit of reflection daily, weekly, monthly. Are your actions aligned with your vision? Are you advancing? Tracking builds accountability and reveals the areas that need adjustment. Adapt, don't quit. Consistency does not mean rigidly adhering to a failing strategy. Life will test you with obstacles and unexpected detours. Be flexible enough to adjust your approach, but relentless in your pursuit. As 2025 begins, let it not be hope that guides you, but habit. Let it not be fleeting excitement, but enduring commitment. Consistency is your bridge from where you are to where you want to be. This year, refuse to compromise with mediocrity. Step forward each day with deliberate intention. Do this, and you won't just crush 2025, you'll crush every year that follows. Success is not the result of one monumental action, nor is it the consequence of luck or fleeting inspiration. It is the accumulation of small, deliberate actions performed consistently over time. These small wins, often overlooked in the grand narrative of achievement, are the building blocks of a fulfilling life. They create momentum, foster resilience, and ultimately lead to profound transformation. The idea of small wins is deceptively simple, but its power lies in its execution. Every significant goal begins with a single step, and that step sets the foundation for the next. It's easy to be paralyzed by the enormity of our aspirations, to feel overwhelmed by the vast distance between where we are and where we want to be. However, when we focus on just the next actionable step, no matter how small, we shift our energy from anxiety to action. Imagine for a moment the effort required to climb a mountain. The summit may appear insurmountable, but the journey becomes manageable when broken down into individual strides. Each step forward, no matter how modest, brings you closer to the top. The same principle applies to every endeavor in life. A book is written one page at a time. A business is built one decision at a time. A strong body is forged one workout at a time. These incremental efforts may seem insignificant in isolation, but over time, their cumulative effect is extraordinary. Small wins are not just about progress, they are about building confidence. Every time you achieve a small milestone, you prove to yourself that success is possible. These victories, however minor, signal that you are capable of following through. They shift your mindset from doubt to belief, reinforcing the idea that you are in control of your outcomes. This belief becomes the fuel that drives further action, creating a virtuous cycle of effort and reward. Consistency in pursuing small wins also cultivates discipline. The act of showing up every day, regardless of motivation or mood, instills a sense of responsibility and ownership over your journey. Discipline, unlike motivation, is a stable force. It doesn't waver in the face of challenges or distractions. By committing to small, deliberate actions, you train your mind to prioritize progress over excuses. Furthermore, small wins compound over time. This is the principle of marginal gains, where a 1% improvement each day leads to exponential growth in the long run. For instance, improving a skill or habit by just a small fraction daily might seem inconsequential in the moment, but over months or years, the results are transformational. This compounding effect is a testament to the power of patience and persistence. Aiming consistently high is equally important. Small wins should not become a comfort zone, but rather a stepping stone. It's easy to celebrate minor achievements and stagnate, mistaking activity for progress. The key is to balance the humility of starting small with the ambition of reaching high. Keep your vision in focus while remaining grounded in the actions of the present. Another essential aspect of small wins is their ability to generate momentum. Momentum is the invisible force that propels you forward, making each subsequent step easier than the last. Starting is often the hardest part, but once you achieve your first small win, it becomes easier to tackle the next challenge. This momentum carries you through periods of self-doubt and external resistance, acting as a buffer against inertia. Small wins are also critical for resilience. Life is unpredictable, and setbacks are inevitable. Grand plans can crumble under the weight of unforeseen obstacles, but small wins are less vulnerable to disruption. They allow for flexibility and adaptation, enabling you to maintain progress even in challenging circumstances. By focusing on what you can do today, you ensure that no setback derails your journey entirely. Success is not a destination, but a journey of deliberate incremental effort. By embracing the power of small wins, you create a pathway to your goals that is sustainable, rewarding, and transformative. You start small, but aim consistently high. Each day, take a step forward. Let the small wins accumulate, and over time you'll find that what once seemed impossible is now within reach. Motivation is an exhilarating spark, the burst of energy that inspires us to start something new or tackle a challenge with enthusiasm. It feels powerful and unstoppable in the moment, but like a flame exposed to the wind, it can flicker and fade. Discipline, on the other hand, is the steady engine that keeps us moving forward when the initial excitement wanes. It is the force that sustains progress through the inevitable highs and lows, ensuring that our actions remain aligned with our goals regardless of how we feel. One of the fundamental truths about motivation is its fleeting nature. It can arise spontaneously, triggered by an inspiring story, a personal breakthrough, or even an external challenge. However, it is unreliable. Motivation ebbs and flows based on our emotional state, external circumstances, and even our physical energy levels. On days when we feel tired, discouraged, or overwhelmed, motivation may be entirely absent. Relying solely on this transient force to fuel long-term progress sets us up for inconsistency and eventual stagnation. Discipline, in contrast, does not depend on feelings. It is the ability to act in accordance with your commitments, even when you don't feel like it. Discipline thrives on structure, routine, and intention. It is not about willpower alone, but about creating an environment and a mindset that make it easier to stay consistent. Discipline removes the decision-making burden from daily actions by establishing systems that guide behavior automatically. Systems are the backbone of discipline. They are the practical frameworks that ensure you take action, no matter how unmotivated you may feel. For example, a writer who commits to writing for 1 hour every morning removes the question of "should I write today?" from their routine. A system is a predetermined commitment, a safeguard against the unpredictability of motivation. It provides clarity and eliminates the temptation to procrastinate or rationalize inaction. Building effective systems begins with understanding your goals and breaking them into manageable, actionable steps. Discipline is easier to sustain when you have a clear roadmap and specific actions to follow. If your goal is to improve your fitness, a disciplined system might involve scheduling workouts on specific days, preparing your gym clothes the night before, and committing to a training program. By doing so, you reduce the friction between intention and action. Another essential aspect of discipline is consistency. It is not about doing everything perfectly, but about showing up regularly. Even on days when your effort feels minimal or your performance is subpar, the act of maintaining your routine reinforces your commitment. This consistency builds momentum, and over time, it creates habits that become second nature. Discipline also fosters self-respect. When you follow through on your commitments to yourself, you build trust in your ability to persevere. This trust is crucial because it strengthens your belief in your capacity to achieve long-term success. Conversely, when you rely solely on motivation and fail to act during periods of low energy or doubt, it can erode your confidence and lead to feelings of guilt or frustration. Discipline does not mean rigidity. It is important to be adaptable and realistic. Life will inevitably present challenges that disrupt your systems, but discipline allows for flexibility without abandoning your overall trajectory. Adjusting your approach or scaling down your efforts during difficult periods is a testament to resilience, not failure. Another key to cultivating discipline is focusing on the process rather than the outcome. Motivation often fixates on the end result, the vision of success that initially excites us. Discipline, however, emphasizes the daily actions that lead to that outcome. By valuing the process, you detach from immediate gratification and instead find satisfaction in consistent effort. This shift in mindset makes it easier to stay committed, even when progress feels slow or invisible. Discipline is about taking control of your life. It is a declaration that your actions will not be dictated by fleeting emotions or external circumstances, but by your commitment to growth and achievement. Motivation may light the fire, but discipline keeps it burning. By building systems that ensure consistent action and prioritizing discipline over fleeting bursts of inspiration, you equip yourself with a sustainable and reliable strategy for success. It is this steady, unwavering commitment that turns dreams into reality. Clarity of vision is the cornerstone of meaningful achievement. Without it, even the most determined efforts can become scattered, misdirected, or ultimately unfulfilling. To succeed in any area of life, you must first know precisely what you want, and more importantly, understand why it matters. This clarity provides the foundation for consistent action, aligns your efforts with your values, and serves as a compass when challenges arise. When your vision is clear, it eliminates ambiguity. You no longer waste energy debating your next steps or second-guessing your decisions. Instead, you operate with a sense of purpose, focusing your time and energy on actions that bring you closer to your goal. Think of a ship setting sail without a clear destination. It drifts aimlessly at the mercy of the tides. However, with a specific port in mind, every decision navigating the waters, adjusting the sails, braving the storms becomes purposeful and directed. To clarify your vision, you must first identify what you truly desire. This requires honest introspection, peeling away societal expectations, external pressures, and superficial wants to uncover what genuinely matters to you. It is not enough to have a vague goal like "I want to be successful" or "I want to be happy." These aspirations, while valid, lack specificity and are too broad to guide action. Instead, ask yourself, what does success look like for me? What kind of happiness am I seeking, and what will it take to achieve it? The more specific you are, the easier it becomes to create a plan and measure progress. Equally important is understanding why your goal matters. The why gives your vision depth and meaning, transforming it from a mere desire into a driving force. When your purpose is clear, it becomes a source of motivation and resilience. Challenges will no longer feel like insurmountable obstacles, but necessary steps in a journey that holds profound significance. For instance, if your goal is to build a successful business, your why might be to create financial freedom for your family, contribute to your community, or pursue a passion that fulfills you. This purpose anchors your efforts, keeping you focused even during moments of doubt or fatigue. A clear vision also aligns your actions with your values. It ensures that your pursuits are not just productive but meaningful. Without this alignment, you may achieve outward success but feel an inner sense of emptiness or dissatisfaction. When your goals resonate with your core beliefs, every step forward feels authentic and rewarding. Once your vision is clear, the next step is to break it down into actionable steps. A compelling vision can feel overwhelming if it remains a distant, abstract ideal. However, by dividing it into smaller, achievable milestones, you transform it into a tangible path. These milestones not only make your goal more manageable, but also provide a sense of accomplishment as you progress. Clarity of vision also simplifies decision-making. Life is full of distractions and competing priorities, and it is easy to be pulled in multiple directions. However, when you are clear about what you want, you can evaluate every choice through the lens of your vision. Does this action move me closer to my goal, or is it a distraction? This clarity empowers you to say no to what doesn't serve you and yes to what does, preserving your time and energy for what truly matters. A clear vision fosters resilience. When the road gets tough, and inevitably will, knowing your purpose can be the difference between giving up and persevering. Challenges and setbacks become part of the process rather than reasons to quit. Your vision acts as a beacon, reminding you of the bigger picture and why your efforts are worth it. Clarity of vision inspires others. Whether in a team, a family, or a community, people are drawn to those with a strong sense of purpose. Your clarity not only guides your actions, but also influences and motivates those around you, creating a ripple effect of focus and determination. A clear vision is your blueprint for success. It provides direction, fuels motivation, and ensures that your actions are intentional and aligned with your values. By knowing exactly what you want and why it matters, you lay the groundwork for consistent, purposeful progress. Your vision becomes the North Star that guides you through life's complexities, leading you to a destination that is not only successful but deeply fulfilling. Growth is born in discomfort. It is in the moments when you step beyond the boundaries of what feels safe, familiar, and easy that true transformation occurs. While comfort offers the illusion of stability, progress, no matter how significant, thrives on clarity and accountability. When you track your progress relentlessly, you turn abstract goals into tangible benchmarks. Measurement is a tool of empowerment. It reveals what is working, highlights areas that need adjustment, and ensures that your efforts are aligned with your aspirations. Without tracking, even the best intentions risk losing direction, leaving you unsure of whether you're truly moving forward or simply spinning in circles. To make meaningful progress, you must monitor your habits and milestones with purpose and consistency. Tracking begins with understanding your goals in detail. A vague ambition like getting healthier or being more productive lacks the structure necessary for improvement. Break your goals into specific, measurable components. For instance, getting healthier might involve tracking daily steps, calorie intake, or hours of sleep, while being more productive could focus on time spent on deep work or tasks completed each day. These measurable elements transform aspirations into actionable steps, providing a clear framework for progress. When you track your habits, you shine a light on the patterns that shape your outcomes. Habits are the building blocks of success, but they often operate subconsciously. Without measurement, it's easy to underestimate the impact of small, seemingly insignificant actions, both positive and negative. Tracking your habits allows you to see the cumulative effect of your daily choices. For example, if you're working toward a fitness goal, tracking your exercise routine and diet reveals whether you're consistently making choices that align with your objectives. If your progress stalls, the data gives you the insight needed to identify and correct any missteps. Relentless tracking also fosters self-awareness and discipline. It forces you to confront the gap between your intentions and your actions. Many people set ambitious goals but falter in their execution, often because they lack a clear picture of where they stand. Tracking removes ambiguity. If you set a goal to write 500 words a day, the act of recording your output each day holds you accountable. When the numbers don't align with your goal, it's a call to action, a reminder that success is not just about setting intentions, but following through on them consistently. One of the most significant benefits of tracking is that it builds momentum. Progress, even in small increments, is deeply motivating. When you see evidence of improvement, it reinforces your commitment to the process. Tracking allows you to celebrate these small wins, which are often overlooked in the absence of measurement. Whether it's losing a pound, completing a task ahead of schedule, or sticking to a habit for a week straight, these victories serve as proof that your efforts are paying off, inspiring you to keep going. Milestones play a crucial role in this process. While habits track daily consistency, milestones mark significant achievements along the journey. Both are essential for sustained progress. Milestones act as checkpoints, providing a sense of accomplishment and an opportunity to reflect on what's working and what could be improved. They also ensure that your efforts are aligned with your broader goals. Without milestones, it's easy to become overly focused on short-term habits while losing sight of the bigger picture. Consistency in tracking is key. Sporadic or half-hearted measurement dilutes its impact. Develop a system that works for you, whether it's a journal, a digital app, or a spreadsheet. The method matters less than the act of consistently recording and reviewing your progress. Make tracking a daily or weekly habit, and treat it as an essential part of your routine. Over time, this discipline will become second nature, a seamless part of your pursuit of growth. While tracking is a powerful tool, it's important to balance measurement with self-compassion. Not every day will be perfect, and progress is rarely linear. There will be setbacks, plateaus, and moments of frustration. When these occur, use your tracking data not as a source of judgment, but as a guide for improvement. The purpose of measurement is not to punish yourself for falling short, but to equip yourself with the information needed to get back on track. Tracking your progress relentlessly instills a sense of control and empowerment. It transforms the abstract into the actionable, the overwhelming into the manageable. It keeps you grounded in reality, showing you where you are, how far you've come, and what steps are needed to reach your destination. Success is not an accident, it is the result of deliberate, consistent effort, and tracking ensures that every step you take is purposeful and aligned with your goals. By measuring your habits and milestones, you create a roadmap for growth, ensuring that you're always moving forward toward the life you envision. Life rarely unfolds as planned. Even with the most meticulous preparation, unexpected challenges and obstacles are inevitable. Yet it is not the obstacles themselves that determine your success or failure, but your response to them. The ability to adapt rather than quit is a defining trait of those who achieve their goals. While life's unpredictability may test your resolve, it also offers opportunities to grow, learn, and refine your approach. Adjusting your strategy when needed is not a sign of weakness, it is a demonstration of resilience, resourcefulness, and an unyielding commitment to your aspirations. Quitting is often a response to frustration or fear. When the path ahead becomes unclear or progress feels slower than anticipated, it's tempting to walk away. But abandoning your goals guarantees only one outcome: failure. Adapting, on the other hand, keeps the door to success open. It acknowledges that the journey may be more complex than you anticipated, but it affirms your determination to navigate whatever challenges arise. The decision to adapt rather than quit is a declaration of belief in your own potential. Adapting begins with a shift in perspective. Challenges and setbacks are not signals to stop, they are feedback. They offer valuable insights into what is and isn't working. When you encounter a roadblock, take a step back and assess the situation. What led to this moment? Is there a different approach you can take? Adjusting your strategy requires humility and a willingness to accept that your initial plan may not have been perfect. This is not failure, it's growth. Flexibility is a cornerstone of adaptability. Rigidly clinging to one approach limits your ability to respond to changing circumstances. Flexibility allows you to pivot when necessary, whether by redefining your goals, exploring alternative methods, or adjusting your timeline. For example, if you're pursuing a career goal and one opportunity falls through, consider other paths that align with your vision. If a personal goal seems out of reach due to unforeseen circumstances, look for creative ways to keep moving forward. Flexibility doesn't mean abandoning your dreams, it means finding new ways to achieve them. Adapting also involves resilience, the capacity to recover from setbacks and keep going. Resilience is built through experience. Each time you face a challenge and refuse to quit, you strengthen your ability to endure. This doesn't mean ignoring difficulties or suppressing your emotions. It means acknowledging the hardship, processing it, and then channeling your energy into finding a solution. Resilience is a skill that grows with practice, and every challenge you overcome makes you stronger for the next. It's important to remember that progress is rarely linear. The path to success is often winding with detours, delays, and unexpected turns. These moments are not failures, they are part of the process. When you adjust your strategy, you keep yourself moving forward, even if the pace or direction changes. This persistence is what ultimately leads to success. Adapting also requires clarity about your ultimate goal. When you're clear on what you want and why it matters, it becomes easier to navigate obstacles. Your purpose acts as a compass, guiding you through uncertainty and helping you make decisions that align with your long-term vision. When challenges arise, reconnect with your purpose. Remind yourself why you started and what you stand to gain by continuing. This clarity provides the motivation to keep going, even when the journey is difficult. Surrounding yourself with the right support can make adaptation easier. Seek out mentors, friends, or communities who can offer guidance, encouragement, and fresh perspectives. They can help you see solutions you might have missed and remind you of your strengths when self-doubt creeps in. The journey toward your goals doesn't have to be a solitary one. Leaning on others is a sign of wisdom, not weakness. Celebrate the progress you make, no matter how small. Each step forward, each adjustment, is proof of your resilience and determination. By focusing on what you've accomplished rather than what remains to be done, you build momentum and reinforce your commitment to your goals. Progress, however incremental, is still progress. Adapting instead of quitting is a mindset that transforms obstacles into opportunities. It requires patience, flexibility, and an unwavering belief in your ability to succeed. While the journey may not look exactly as you imagined, the willingness to adjust your strategy ensures that you remain on the path toward your dreams. Life's unpredictability is not a barrier but a canvas on which you can continuously redefine your approach, proving that true success lies in persistence and adaptability. In the grand journey toward making 2025 your best year yet, consistency stands as the cornerstone of achievement. Through the deliberate practice of building small wins, prioritizing discipline over fleeting motivation, clarifying your vision, embracing discomfort, tracking your progress, and adapting to life's unpredictability, you carve a path to lasting success. Each step, no matter how small or challenging, reinforces your commitment to growth and fuels the momentum to keep going. Success is not about grand, occasional leaps, but the quiet, unyielding dedication to daily actions that align with your aspirations. By embracing these principles, you equip yourself not only to crush 2025, but to build a life of purpose, resilience, and fulfillment. Thank you for embarking on this journey with me and for committing to your growth. Here's to a year of unwavering consistency and boundless achievement. Let's make it extraordinary. Thank you.